Israeli military launched airstrikes in the Gaza Strip on Friday, hours after rockets were fired from Lebanon into Israel. 34 rockets were fired from southern Lebanon into northern Israel, injuring 2 Israelis in the largest exchange of cross-border fire since the 2006 war between Israel and Hezbollah. The rockets were fired in response to events within Israel and come amid a confluence of events including Israeli police carrying attacks in Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem. The Israeli security forces attacked worshippers in the mosque during the late hours of Wednesday night, which prompted Hezbollah to warn that it would support Palestinians with all measures. But Hezbollah reportedly denied involvement in the April 6 rocket launches, which it instead blamed on Palestinian factions based in Lebanon. The violence stemming from Israel's police operation at Al-Aqsa Mosque has sparked international condemnation of Israel from Turkey, Bahrain and Jordan, while the UAE called an emergency summit at the UN to discuss the clashes. Riots broke out in Arab communities across Israel as well as in the West Bank. With the Netanyahu government struggling with legitimacy, it will likely aim to limit the level of retaliation against the rocket attacks from Lebanon. However, a significant Israeli retaliation against Lebanon or Gaza cannot be ruled out, which could trigger a major military conflict, especially if it results in large numbers of civilian and military casualties. The Biden administration has spoken with European allies and Israel about a potential interim deal with Iran that would give the country some sanctions relief in exchange for a freeze of some aspects of its civilian nuclear program. The report cited unnamed Israeli officials and Western diplomats and said the idea would be to get Iran to stop enriching uranium at 60% in exchange for some sanctions relief. Israel has told the Biden administration that Iran enriching over 60% could trigger an Israeli attack. Israeli pressures and threats are why Iran is enriching at 60%, as Tehran took the steps in response to an Israeli covert attack on Iran's Natanz nuclear facility in April 2021. With tensions at the highest level they have been between the US and Israel due to Netanyahu's government's attempt to reduce the powers of the judiciary, it's likely this concession by the US is to force Israel into a corner rather than progressing the nuclear talks with Iran. The BRICS countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, are reportedly exploring the creation of a common currency for trade amongst themselves. A new financial arrangement seen with the potential to translate into a common BRICS currency could be announced as soon as August 2023 at the forthcoming BRICS summit in South Africa. According to the report, quoting Russian lawmaker Alexander Babakov, the BRICS nations are in the process of creating a new medium for payments, established on a strategy that does not defend the dollar or euro. He reportedly indicated that the new currency would be secured by gold and other commodities such as rare earth metals. With 90% of global transactions in the dollar and 60% of currency reserves in the dollar, it is a tall order to replace the dollar. There has been a lot of talk from China, Russia and others for a long time to replace the dollar, but little has physically happened beyond talk. There is also the issue of which currency would replace the dollar. China's currency is not fully convertible, and the CCP restricts access to it to maintain an exchange rate suitable for maintaining its economic model. No nation has any confidence in the Russian ruble, and other currencies are just too small to play a global role. The dollar's dominance was due to the US setting the terms of the world after World War II. To change this, it's likely a cataclysmic event is needed, where the US ceases to be the global power and the new power sets the terms of the world. As part of its ongoing efforts to rewriting India's medieval history and suppressing the country's Islamic past, the Indian government has announced its decision to erase chapters on the Mughal Empire from Class 12 history textbooks. Saffronization of school and universities curriculum, changing names of popular Mughal and Islamic monuments, cities, roads, etc. have caught pace after Modi became Prime Minister in 2014. This takes place with increasing violent attacks on Muslims, hastening their marginalization from social and political spheres, driven by Hindutva's long-term goal to turn India into the Hindu Rashtra after rendering Muslims as second-class citizens. However, burying the glorious history of India's Islamic past has been an ongoing project started off by the British occupation of India 200 years ago, with the objective of creating rifts between Hindus and Muslims for Britain's colonial divide and rule policy. The Modi government is really just the modern version of this trend.